What's up, guys? It's Shay, and thanks for stopping in. Feel free to scroll down the page and take a look at some record consoles. I just want to start off and introduce myself and tell you a little story about how I got into all this. I'm originally from Wisconsin, and probably my first real music memory is when my brother would come home from college and he'd bring home his CD collection, and this kind of gave me a 3-month window to devour as much music of his as I could before he went back to college in the fall. And this gave me my first peek into adult thoughts, adult feelings, and adult ideas that I never really had access to before. And it was kind of, I think we all have that magical experience when we're kids where it finally all clicks and you kind of relate to it and you get it. And it's kind of like this new world of ideas you're exposed to that you never had access to. And so I immediately went all into it, and I kind of progressed through my teens into putting car stereos in my car and subwoofers and playing with speakers and sound. And eventually I started doing custom upholstery and eventually all the way up to street rods. And also during this time, my friends and I on the weekends, we traveled to Milwaukee and we'd see live performances, and pretty much our whole lives, our whole passion was revolving around cars and music. And it's kind of a great moment in my life where I was free, I had no responsibilities, and your passions, you could do your passions. But slowly, I went to school, I got the corporate job, and eventually I was sitting in a cubicle and listening to music on some headphones like this. And when you look into it, you're only really hearing, with digital compression and these headphones, you're only really hearing 30% of the sound. Technology has given us a huge quantity. Spotify has given us a lot of music, but the sound quality has suffered significantly, and we really have lost a lot of sound that we didn't even really know that was happening. And so I kind of started hearing about these records coming back, and I'm a CD guy. I'm from the '90s, so CD guy, and I never really listened to a record in my life. So I was kind of curious, and I heard that everyone's getting back into records, and I was kind of apprehensive. I was like, this is some hipster fad. They're just wasting their money on these expensive records and this audio equipment because they want to be special and unique. And why would I want this? I have Spotify. I have the my free headphones with my iPhone. But I got curious enough, and I went to the local record store up the street and checked it out. And I put the first record on. I put the headphones on, and I was immediately shocked. I was like, wow, this sounds so much clearer. I can hear the little things that I never heard before, the little nuances in the music that was put there by the artist, but you couldn't really hear it because of bad quality. And immediately I was hooked. I bought my first record. I brought it home. I went on Craigslist. I wanted something in my home that had some character. I wanted some nostalgia. I wanted some soul in my record. I mean, kind of this whole deal is having some soul in it. So I went out and bought my first record console. I brought it home, and immediately I started down a rabbit hole, and I started researching new music again. I started appreciating it more. I'd sit down and think about it and watch the record spin, have the whole ritual of putting it on, looking at the artwork in the album, reading the lyrics, thinking about the lyrics, and trying to truly dive deep into the album. There's kind of like this expression now where it's like, oh, I bought that on vinyl. And that's what people say to each other now. And they're like, and that kind of means, this is really special to me. That album's so special. I went out and bought it, and I take the time to listen to it. And this is me. This is a little peek into my soul. But I started down this new rabbit hole, and eventually I had an epiphany that, holy crap, I'm back to what it was like when I was a kid again, exploring new music and fully, embracing it, exploring new ideas, I started listening to like John Coltrane and Leonard Cohen and the old David Bowies, and I had no idea any of this ever existed. I kind of, this was a generation before me, and it's, no one really talks about it. It's not on the radio. You just kind of you don't even realize what's been out there. So opened up my mind. It opened up to new things, and I canceled my cable. And today I just I started messing with different consoles, different speakers, different things to kind of try to create the best home audio experience that I could. And then I finally realized, that I think a lot of people have lost the whole way of listening to music. We've technology and the next generations that kind of lost that whole intimate, personal side of music, and also a great mid-century piece and for your living room. And this kind of just drove me to keep pushing myself and finally narrow down what would be the best unit I could possibly build. And I kind of used my hot rod skills that I created to put it into a real soulful, genuine piece for an intimate experience. So yeah, that's kind of like my whole story. If you have any questions, send me an email, and I'll talk to you guys soon. So take care. Bye.